Is this chunk of rock in the sky really just a romantic natural phenomenon? Or is it the central control lever of a much larger invisible system of control? Hey everyone! I wanted to take advantage of today to share my insights into a video. We live in a world where almost every person knows phases in which their own emotional life feels like an externally controlled script. One day you go through life full of drive, and the very next day, without any visible reason, a tough, heavy cloud of doubt and emotional exhaustion moves in. When you look around in everyday life, this pattern runs like an invisible band through whole crowds of people. There are those days when the air is literally burning. Suddenly, there is irritability, restlessness, or an indefinable collective tension everywhere. Almost automatically, we then resort to the typical explanation attempts of the world. Stress at work, bad weather, or simply the full moon. We just accept it and say, the moon is messing everyone up again today. But right here lies the actual illusion. We have gotten used to accepting this constant emotional up and down like a force of nature, like a fate to which we are helplessly exposed. But this feeling of external control is not a personal failure and not a random game of whims by nature either. It is the symptom of a program running subliminally. Let us first take a look at what classical astrology has been teaching us for thousands of years. Astrologically speaking, the moon represents your emotional world, your conditioning, your needs, and your unconscious. It is, so to speak, the emotional memory chip of your personal hard drive. Physically, the moon generates no light of its own. It merely reflects the rays of the sun. Day after day, we see how powerfully its physics acts up in this planet. The moon moves gigantic oceans and controls the tides of ebb and flow. And since our human body consists of over 70% water, it seems only logical that this celestial body also paces our inner biological and emotional fluids in a continuous, precisely predictable 28-day cycle. In traditional astrology, it simply says the moon rules your emotions. And at this point, 99% of all people stop. They use their birth chart almost like an excuse or a sedative and say, I feel lonely or rejected today because the moon is in Capricorn. But right here, we must ask the crucial question. Why is it constructed this way? Is this chunk of rock in the sky really just a romantic natural phenomenon? Or is it the central control lever of a much larger invisible system of control? Right here, we leave the surface behind. We are now looking behind the scenes of the cosmic simulation. Welcome to the meta level. Welcome outside the matrix. To understand what the moon truly is, we must grasp how this three-dimensional reality is constructed. The matrix is not a metaphorical term. It is an energetic grid, a technological etheric simulation based on frequencies, pacing, and geometry. On a metaphysical level, the moon is neither a natural planet nor a random satellite. It is the most powerful physical energetic relay station and the central signal amplifier within our solar system. How does this mechanism work in detail? Far outside our solar system, gigantic high-frequency consciousness and light impulses flow from the source cosmos. The fixed stars and the constellations act like huge transmitting antennas in this system. But these purely cosmic frequencies are so high that a dense 3D matrix cannot process them. And this is where the moon comes into play. The moon intercepts these purely cosmic signals. It acts like a massive frequency modulator. It steps down the high light frequencies, distorts them, colors them with emotional codes, and beams them uninterruptedly onto the Earth's magnetic field like a gigantic satellite. Why do the architects of this matrix do this? The secret lies within your body. As mentioned, your biological body consists largely of water. And water is the most sensitive frequency and information storage medium of all. When the moon signal floods the Earth's atmosphere, the water in your cells starts to vibrate. It receives the modulated frequency. Through the 28-day moon cycle, humanity is thereby kept in an artificial, permanent emotional hamster wheel. During a full moon, the tension is driven extremely high. Collective restlessness, sleeplessness, and agitation are the result. During a new moon, the system is dimmed down. Feelings of emptiness, loss, and exhaustion spread out. Emotions are energetic fuel. Emotion stands for energy in motion. Every time a human being unconsciously reacts to the moon signal, when they fall into fear, anger, collective tension, or deep grief, they release an enormous amount of emotional energy. This emotional energy fuels the system. It maintains the density level of the matrix. As long as you believe that your feelings during certain moon transits are your own intimate emotions, the artificial software runs perfectly. You remain trapped in the pacing of the moon code. You are then not a creator soul choosing its own reality, but a receiver device dutifully living through the played program. But that is not the end of the story. This is the moment you see through the game. The knowledge about the matrix behind the moon is no reason for powerlessness or fear. It is your ultimate liberating strike. In the moment an emotional wave, be it sudden heaviness, anger, or fear, passes through you, you do one thing starting today. You pause. You move into the observer role. You no longer say, I am sad or I am angry. You recognize with a cool mind, there's a frequency running through the Earth grid right now. The relay station, moon, is sending an impulse signal, and my biological body is reacting to it. Through this simple separation, the identification with the program breaks off. You instantly strip the matrix signal of its fuel. You pull the plug. You no longer use astrology and your birth chart as deterministic fate or a restrictive cage, but as a roadmap. You see exactly which buttons the moon wants to push in you personally, and from now on, You decide completely consciously whether you jump on it or switch to mute. You are the infinite free creator soul that stepped into this density to see through the matrix from the inside out. That was your deep dive into the moon code, the first puzzle piece from the grand energetic framework of astrology.